So you're thinking about moving to Gilbert and you want to learn more about the school system. Then stick around, because in today's video, what we're going to do is walk you through the top schools in Gilbert, ranging for students in ages elementary to high school. And what we're going to do is we are going to provide you with 3 options for each specific grade level. So 1 public, 1 charter, and 1 private. And we are going to get started right now. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Jake Augeri, and I am a local market expert here in the Gilbert area. I get calls and texts from people all the time who are curious about the area, whether that's about schools or restaurants or shopping or entertainment, all of those sorts of things. So if that's you, would you reach out to me? Give me a call, shoot me a text, or write me an email. I would love to be a resource for you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I provide weekly videos just about kind of the overall real estate market here in the Phoenix metro market. And so I would love to connect with you in any way possible. So as we get started today, one of the things that I wanted to do was just to kind of give you a broad overview of kind of the Gilbert public school system. And then a little bit later on, we'll jump into specific schools and that sort of thing. But as a whole, Gilbert has 2 public school districts. The first is Gilbert Public Schools, or Gilbert Unified, and that has about 34,000 students in it with a student to teacher ratio of right around 19:1. And then the second public school district in Gilbert is Higley Unified, and that has about 13,000 students in it and a student to teacher ratio of around 17:1. In terms of state rankings, Gilbert Unified is ranked number 5 out of over 200 public schools, so it's right near the very top. And then Higley Unified is ranked number 15 out of just a little bit over 200. So all in all, both public school districts in Gilbert are wonderful options for you. The only city in the East Valley that beats Gilbert is Chandler, and that's ranked number 2. Catalina Foothills is ranked number 1, but they're in the Tucson area. And so really overall, Gilbert is a great option for schools. Mesa, which is close to Gilbert, ranks number 18, and Tempe ranks number 21. And then there are some other schools like Queen Creek, Santan Valley, Apache Junction. They're a little bit further down the list. So all in all, Gilbert is near the very top echelon. One of the cool things to know, just as you're thinking about schooling in Arizona, is that we have an open enrollment program here. And so that means that parents can choose where your kiddo goes to school as long as there is capacity in the school you want them to go to. So if you live in a boundaries for a specific school, then you're guaranteed a spot. But if you want to send your kid to a school that's outside of your neighborhood boundaries, you can do that as long as there's room. We're walking through that right now. My daughter is about to start school here in the fall, and we wanted her to go to a school that's outside of our neighborhood boundaries. So we just approached the district and we went to the school and said, hey, is there space? They said yes, and so now she's able to go there. And so that's kind of a cool added benefit for schools here in the area. One of the other things that's going on is in Gilbert, they have about 21 different charter schools that serve about 14,000 students. And then there's also 17 different private schools that serve right around 3,500 students. And so all in all, you've got options here. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the computer and look at 3 different options for each grade level. So we're going to get started right now. All right, hey, we are going to jump into the computer here. But before we do that, I wanted to just kind of say a quick thing about how I came up with this list and give you a few caveats. So I looked at a number of different websites and talked to different teachers and parents who sent their students to these schools. And so, I use niche.com, greatschools.com, or .org, one of those, and then US News. They all kind of compile these lists into one, and they look at different and assess different grades and that sort of thing. So I say that because if you were to ask different people about, what's the best school in Gilbert or that sort of thing, they might have a different answer. So what I did was I tried to look at what consistently shows up near the top. And so that's what I did. The second caveat is that in the private school and charter, you're going to see some repeats for elementary, middle school, and high school. And the reason is because the top rated charter schools and private schools are good across the board. They're good at what they do, and there's not very many options in Gilbert. So you've got 21 charter schools and 17 private schools. And so they're good at what they do across the board. And so you're going to see some repeats there. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there so you know up at the very top. So first school we're going to look at for elementary school is Neely Traditional Academy. It is located in north central Gilbert. So I'm going to pull up the map here. So it is in between Gilbert Road and Lindsay that run north and south, and then in between Baseline Road and Guadalupe, which run east and west. You're just right off the 60 here, so I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see that. And the 60 is kind of what you use to get east and west in the valley. So really in the heart of North Gilbert. So Neely Traditional Academy, it has an overall grade of A with academics rating as an A, diversity and teachers at an A-. Their student to teacher ratio is right around 19:1, so that's par for the course for Gilbert. And it's really good for it kind of being underneath that 20-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Their test scores, you've got 83% of students that are proficient in math and 81% in reading. In terms of ranking just with the rest of the state, it's number 135 of a little bit over 1,160 public schools. So right in the top 10% there, which is great. It does have some of the best teachers as well, in the top 30 to 33% there. And then it's also in the top, kind of 40% for diversity. In terms of teachers, what we'll see is that the average teacher salary is a little bit higher than in some of the other districts, so that's great at the $54,575. And then the other thing to pay attention to here is the teachers in their first year. It is at 10.1%. So what that means is that there are going to be less new teachers here, and so you're going to have teachers that like what they do, that they've committed themselves to this, and that makes up about 90% of the teachers. And so you're going to have people that are passionate about teaching and that sort of thing. So that is our first public school for elementary age. Let's move on to Great Hearts. This is our charter school. And as we go here, let's look at the location. So Great Hearts is just a little bit east of Neely Academy, but it's still kind of right in between Baseline and Guadalupe. But this is in between Greenfield and Higley as it runs north and south. And Arate has overall a great score. They are ranked A+, A+ in academics, A+ in teachers, and A for diversity. We actually looked into this school for my daughter. And one of the things that's really great about their student-to-teacher ratio is that in every class for elementary school age, they have 2 teachers. So that's going to bring their student-to-teacher ratio way down. And so it really helps just kids get the individual attention that they need. In terms of test scores, 75% of the students are proficient in math and 65% are right there in reading. This is going to have some really great teachers. So what you'll see is they're ranked number 4 out of 1,150 and number 7 in terms of overall elementary schools, and then number 7 for best charter school. So Great Hearts has some great ratings all across the board. I have a buddy who teaches at one of the Great Hearts in North Phoenix, and he absolutely loves it. One other thing to pay attention to here is, again, the teachers in their first year. So around 84% of the teachers are going to be what we'd call veteran teachers. So they are people who have been doing it for a while. So your kiddos are going to get people who are a little bit more seasoned. Let's move on to private schools here. Gilbert Christian Schools, they are a small Christian school that's located in a little bit of South Gilbert. So I'll pull up the map here. So if we zoom out a little bit, you can see those other schools are right around here. And so if we go to the South 202, it is located right here around Ray and Higley Road. But one of the other things about Gilbert Christian Schools is that there's 2 different locations. So I'm going to pull up their website here. There's 2 campuses. So the Agritopia campus, which is the one that we just showed you, and then Greenfield and Germain, which that will be a little bit further south here. I'll pull that up. So you're coming right around here will be the other campus. So Gilbert Christian Schools, they have an overall grade of A-, so academics A, diversity and teachers is right in the B to B- range. And then they also talk about kind of college prep and sports and that sort of thing. They've got a great student-to-teacher ratio of 15-to-1. They do have a tuition though, and so their tuition is going to be a little bit pretty pricey here, so close to $16,000. But one of the things to know about the private schools here in Arizona is that you can apply for a tax credit, and so what that means is that you can have people directly help you pay for your students' tuition, and they can get a tax credit, meaning it's dollar for dollar. So say they give $2,000 to your students' tuition, they will get that $2,000 back. It is not a tax deduction, but it's a tax credit. So that is how a lot of people kind of help to pay for an education that's a little bit more expensive. They do talk about their academics. They've got a really high, this is for high school, but they've got kind of some great things surrounding culture and safety there, and overall. People seem to really enjoy Gilbert Christian School. So that's kind of 3 different options for elementary schools. What I want to do next is kind of pull up our junior high. So we're gonna move in here. And the first public junior high school that we're going to talk about is South Valley. They have an overall grade of A, so let's look at where they are here. They're going to be kind of a little bit further south in Gilbert, so right around Lindsay, in between Gilbert and Lindsay Road and Williamsfield. So if we zoom out, can see our first schools are right up here, and then Gilbert Christian was right around here. So they're a little bit further south, so you can access the South 202 there. But South Valley, they've got an overall grade of A, academics and teachers diversity for B+. That is going to be, you're going to see slightly lower diversity numbers in Gilbert. It's more primarily white city. You'll find some pockets of diversity there, but just demographically speaking, that's what's true of that area. Their student to teacher ratio there is 23-1, so it's a little bit higher. And then their test scores, you're looking at about 55% students are proficient in math and 53% for reading. Here's kind of the ratings, 121 out of 784. So again, near the top 20% or so. Don't hold me to my math on percentages. I'm doing this on the fly for the percentages. So overall, South Valley is a great school and is one of the top ranked junior highs in the area. You'll see that they do have some students that are on free or reduced lunch. The numbers creep a little bit higher, but still good as it relates to teachers in their first and second year. So, around 73%, 74% are going to be veteran teachers, with only 26% being in that first year. So that's South Valley. So that's our public middle school. Then let's move into our charter school. So this is going to be Legacy Traditional School, which is going to be a charter school for junior high. So this is going to be a little bit east and south of where we just were. So Legacy has an A+ score. So they're going to be located in between Power and Recker, in between Williamsfield and Pecos. So Power and Recker are north and south, and Pecos and Williamsfield are east and west. Let's look at their numbers. They are A+, so A+ in academics, A+ in teachers, and A in diversity, which is great. Their student-to-teacher ratio, let's see what that is. Let's pull that up here. They haven't really given us that information, so I would imagine that with it having the ranking that it is, and charter schools, they have different reporting kind of rules, so that's why we may not see that. But in terms of ranking, they're going to have some of the best teachers in Arizona, and also some of the best middle schools all around. So you're going to see they're going to be near the very top. Their test scores, you've got 65% reading, 67% for math. So in the upper echelon here. So that is our charter school for junior high. Now we're going to see a familiar name here for private schools. So I'm not going to go over kind of all of the details on Gilbert Christian again, because we talked about that already. But their general grade is going to be an A-. So again, similar to what we've seen. And people seem to really enjoy Gilbert Christian. I have worked with a number of different families who have sent their kiddos to this school, and they seem to really enjoy it. Here's kind of a picture of your rankings. So number 8 for high school and junior high, number 9 for I guess overall, and then college prep. They're at a good spot. So those are our junior highs. Let's move on to high school here. We are going to pull up our first high school, and that is a public school. So it's Gilbert Classical Academy. This is located kind of, again, back in Central. So we're moving up a little bit here. Let me zoom in so we can kind of see the major crossroads. So right on Elliott Road, Elliott and Greenfield. So kind of on the northeast corner of that intersection there. So let's look at their overall scores. They're really high. So they've got an A+ niche grade, A+ academics, A- diversity, B in teachers, A+ for college prep. There's a huge emphasis on college prep here in the Gilbert area. Their student to teacher ratio is right around 20-1. And then look at these test scores. 80% of the students are proficient in math, 82% in reading. So all in all, this is a great school. You'll also look at their graduation rates and their SAT scores. That 1350, super high, a pretty high enrollment in AP classes, graduation rate, all of those sorts of things. So this is going to be a really great option for you if you are looking for the public school. You'll also see that they've got a handful of students, a handful of percentage of students on the free or reduced lunch. Then what we see here is 20-1 student-teacher ratio. You're going to have a little bit of higher percentage of teachers in their first and second year. So about 70% will be veterans, and 30 to 31% will be those who are kind of rookies. So all in all, this is a great option. Now let's move on to our charter school. So Great Hearts, this is going to be, again, another repeat. I know a handful of students who went here and had a very good experience. It is rigorous. And so if you want your high school age age student to be challenged, this is going to be a great option for you. So Arete, again, we're going to look right at where this is. We've already been there, but Greenfield and Baseline, so right around there. A+ overall, A in academics, A in diversity, A+ for teachers, college prep, administration, all of those sorts of things. You're going to see that their test scores overall in Arizona, generally speaking, the Great Heart schools have high test scores. So 54% are going to be proficient in math, 67% in reading. Here's where we're going to see that they really shine. So they have some of the best teachers. They have a rigorous standard for getting accepted there. I have a buddy who's, again, a teacher at one of the Great Heart schools. Number 14 out of 169, so in that top 10% again. And then one of the better high schools in Arizona as well. They do have some great graduation rates and SAT scores. Overall, Great Hearts is going to be a great option for you. They've got some great club options and that sort of thing too. So let's move on. For our private school, you guessed it. It is Gilbert Christian again. And so overall, you're going to see A-, A in academics, B- in diversity, college prep, sports, that sort of thing. One thing I will say is with the handful of people that I know who have, gone to this high school is they do have lots of different options for sports and clubs and that sort of thing. So I wanted to pull up something down here so you can see it. There's their rankings again. But they do have a high percentage of people who are involved in kind of their sports here. So let me pull this up here. So you'll see that the participation in athletics, they've got high and very high. And so people love to get plugged in a school like Gilbert Christian. And it's part of what's going to happen there is you're going to have a smaller community than you do at some of the public schools. And so there's a lot of opportunity for you to develop some close friendships. One of the other things that I did want to share about the high schools, if you're paying for a private school, there is a local university here called Grand Canyon University. And that's kind of one of the powerhouse Christian colleges here in the area. If you go to a Christian school and you pay tuition, they have what's called the Grand Canyon Christian School Consortium. And so what that means is if you pay tuition to go to one of the Christian schools, you can get a break on the tuition cost for college. And so the numbers for if you're living on campus is you can get up to $5,000 for every year that you attended a Christian high school. So $5,000 off for each year. So a total of $20,000 if you're living on campus. And then that number drops by half if you're not living on campus. So $2,500 altogether. So hey, we're going to wrap up today. I hope this has been helpful for you. If there is any questions that you have about specific schools or neighborhoods, would you reach out to me? I would love to be a resource for you. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I am releasing videos like this every single week just to provide you with more insight onto just the market here and what's going on in the city. Again, as I said up top, I love this place. I live here in the East Valley in the Gilbert area, and I am passionate about seeing it thrive and do great. And so if there's any way that I can help you make a move to this area, please reach out to me and introduce yourself. Drop a comment below, shoot me a text, write me an email, or give me a call. I would love to connect with you. Thanks so much. I look forward to talking to you here soon, and I will see you at our next video.